Hey there Minecrafters, welcome back to the DrakenGameWerks channel. Today we're diving into the wonderful world of pranking on a Minecraft SMP. Pranks have been a time-honoured tradition, bringing laughter and creating amazing content. But remember, there's a fine line between pranking and griefing. Let's explore how to mess with your server mates without crossing that line. Welcome to How to Mess with Server Mates, Small Content Creator SMP Advice, Episode 6. Before we dive in, let's clarify the difference between pranking and griefing. A prank is when both parties find amusement, while griefing is all about one person's enjoyment at the expense of the other's feelings. We definitely want to stay clear of griefing on a Minecraft SMP, as it can ruin the fun for everyone involved, and you'll quickly find yourself not having a place to be if all you do is continually grief the others around you. So what should you consider before pranking someone on a Minecraft SMP? Let's go over some golden rules. Rule number 1. Check the server rules. Different servers will have different guidelines for what is considered an acceptable prank as a general overall guidance, so make sure your ideas align with them. Rule number 2. Consider the other person's appreciation. Not everyone finds the same things amusing. We all have different senses of humour, so please be mindful of their preferences as well. Rule number 3. Will your prank interfere with the other person's plans? Avoid putting a wrench in their projects or derailing their progress. Rule number 4. Be prepared to clean it up. If your prank creates a mess, help restore things to normal afterwards. You created the mess, it's only fair that you are the one to clean it up. Remember folks, knowing your server mates is key to successful pranking. Interact with them regularly and you'll understand their humour and what they will appreciate. But hey, building that understanding can take a bit of time. So if you are new to a server or the other person is brand new to the server that you are on, seeking advice from others who know about them may also be a clever move to understanding whether the prank you plan will go down successfully or fall short. Speaking of advice, here's a pro tip that we've been using on the Unorthodox server. We have a dedicated channel in our private Discord where everyone shares their prankage preferences. It's fantastic. Pranksters can check out what types of pranks others are comfortable with and what they are not. It's like having a prank rulebook that can give you a guideline that before you do the prank, you know whether that is likely to fall short or whether it's actually going to be something they might appreciate. And here's a secret weapon when you're unsure about a prank. You can actually ask the person directly. Yes, it might tip them off, but trust me, it can still be appreciated even if it is not as big a surprise as you hoped it to be. The other person will likely be grateful that you cared enough to actually ask, and in some cases, they may even turn around and get in on the prank. People are sometimes like that if they really appreciate it. When planning pranks, remember not to inconvenience the other person too much. Consider their plans and be aware of their build areas. Nothing's more frustrating than logging on with limited time only to find that a prank is blocking your progress. So let's be considerate and respect each other's projects. If you walk up to their area and you see they've just cleared an area out, it probably means the next time they're logging on, they're planning to build something there. So don't put a prank into that space because they're likely to come along and go, this is in the way of me doing what I wanted to do. So be aware of where you're building it. You can get ideas as well from watching their videos and listening to what they say in Minecraft chat, as well as on your Discord channels as to what their current projects are and what they're currently planning, so that you know which areas might be a good idea to currently stay clear from. And another thing that is worth remembering is that when someone finishes a project or a build, that you don't prank it immediately. If someone has just finished a build, they are likely taking a moment to step back and appreciate it. Let them have some time with their build existing as they intend it to be before you walk up to it and immediately prank it and change what they had already built. And here's a crucial point. Always be prepared to put things right. If your prank involves potential harm or death, make sure you have a way to save their equipment or prevent any major setbacks because of it. Of course, if you're doing it on a hardcore server, having a risk of the other person being injured or killed is not a good idea for a prank at all. And even if it's not a hardcore server, some people don't appreciate that as a prank. So again, be aware of your target audience there with it. Also, if your prank involves building in their area, be ready to take it down if asked. Flexibility is the key here. A handy trick for more complex pranks is to take screenshots or use something like the Litematica mod. By creating a schematic of the existing build, you'll have a backup plan to put everything back exactly as it was. It shows you're thoughtful and respectful of their creations. And one of the bits I'd like to emphasize here is to make sure that you have flexibility in your time schedule coming up to be able to take it down rather soon. If someone comes on and goes, yep, haha, that was funny, I have now recorded it, can you now take it down? Don't leave it sitting up now for several more weeks. You need to be flexible before you do the prank in your time frame that you have available to actually restoring whatever it was that you pranked. Also, avoid repeating the same prank over and over again. What might have been amusing the first time can quickly turn into a major grievance. Variety is the spice of pranks, my friends. There was a time when I was on a server where I built with a lot of what we call flippables. These are trapdoors. I used them for fencing, I used them for decoration on the wall, I used them for shelving. I still do. And someone came along one day and decided it would be a great prank to flip them all, to change their positioning. Now, the first time that happened, it was a little bit amusing, though it was also a bit of an annoyance because I then had to spend the next 15 to 20 minutes where I was planning to get on to build, having to put it all back right. However, 2 days later, someone came along and did the same prank. And at that point, I was starting to get a little bit frustrated. But I spent another 10-15 minutes putting it all back together again and carried on with my building. A few days later, someone did it for the third time, and by this point, I was pulling my hair out. This had turned from being a prank into an actual grievance, and that griefing was becoming a problem for me. So please, don't keep doing the same pranks. If the prank to begin with was only questionable about how amusing it might be for the other person to receive, once will be okay, fair enough, funny. Over and over again, though, becomes a real problem. An important thing here for us not to forget, though, is that when you find yourselves on the receiving end of a prank, keep in mind that the other person probably intended it as a light-hearted gesture. If you didn't enjoy it or found it frustrating, don't assume the worst. Like I had with my example a moment ago, yes, it was frustrating and annoying. I think it was a couple of different people who thought it was funny, and they probably all thought it was amusing at the time and weren't expecting it to turn around and be as annoying as it was to me by the time it had happened for the third time. Talk to people when you have these situations where it goes beyond your boundaries, explain those boundaries and give them the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time, a friendly chat will clear things up. Don't just assume they are doing it in order to wind you up, but that actually their intention was meant to be lighthearted. Before we wrap things up, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support, and it motivates me to bring you more fun and informative content like this. And here's an interactive part for you, our amazing viewers. In the comment section below, let us know your thoughts on pranking. What do you find acceptable as pranks? Or have you ever had a situation where pranks have gone too far? We'd love to hear your experiences and ideas. That's all for today's episode, folks. Remember, pranking can be a fantastic way to bond with your server mates, but always do it with consideration and respect. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Stay awesome, everyone.